Bad Words is a 2013 American black comedy film directed by Jason Bateman and written by Andrew Dodge. Marking Bateman's directorial debut, the film stars Bateman as a middle-aged 8th grade dropout who enters the National Golden Quill Spelling Bee through a loophole. It also stars Kathryn Hahn, Rohin Chand, Ben Falcone, Philip Baker Hall, and Allison Janney. Dodge's screenplay for Bad Words was featured on the 2011 Blacklist and was shortly thereafter picked up by Bateman. In the original script, the story was set at the Scripps National Spelling Bee, but the name was changed to a fictional bee since the filmmakers did not expect Scripps to allow the use of their name in the film. After two other actors declined to play the main character, Bateman decided to take on the role himself and cast the other roles by a combination of contacting friends and open casting calls. Filming took place in Los Angeles at the end of 2012. The film premiered at the 2013 Toronto International Film Festival on September 6, 2013, and had a limited release in the United States on March 14, 2014, expanding to a wide release on March 28. Produced for $10 million, it earned $7.8 million at the theatrical box office. It received mixed reviews from critics. Some enjoyed the humor and direction, while others found the main character unlikable and the humor offensive. Storyline: 40-year-old Guy Trilby discovers a loophole in the Golden Quill Spelling Bee which stipulates that participants must have not graduated from the 8th grade, allowing him to enter, since he dropped out of middle school. He attends and wins a regional spelling bee and progresses to the national competition after confrontations with both the parents of children and the spelling bee hosts. He is accompanied by Jenny Wigian, a relatively unknown journalist hoping to make a story out of his participation in the bee. On the flight to the National Spelling Bee, Guy meets Chaitanya Chopra, a 10-year-old entrant in the bee who persistently attempts to befriend Guy. Upon his arrival in Los Angeles, Guy meets the director of the spelling bee, Dr. Bernice Deegan, who expresses anger at his participation in the bee and places him and his reporter in a cheap hotel. Guy learns that Chaitanya is staying in the same hotel and takes him out one night to expose Chaitanya to the wilder side of life, stealing food, drinking, and hiring a prostitute to briefly flash Chaitanya. In the bee, Guy actively tries to distract and disconcert his fellow competitors, at one point insinuating that he was sleeping with another contestant's mother. Despite Dr. Deegan's tampering with the word list to give Guy the most difficult words, he spells long, complicated words with relative ease, impressing and angering both parents and staff at the spelling bee, including the event's founder, Dr. William Bowman. However, the parents petition for his disqualification and the resignation of Deegan. While researching Guy's background, Jenny discovers that Bowman is Guy's father. She reveals this to him, and he admits that his prime motivation for entering the bee was to embarrass his father in revenge for abandoning him and his mother when he was a child. Soon before the final stage of the bee, Guy overhears Chaitanya and his father discussing his strategy to win, which is to befriend Guy so that he will allow Chaitanya to win out of guilt. Guy storms into the room and ends his friendship with Chaitanya, despite Chaitanya's pleas that he genuinely wanted to be friends. They later sabotage each other. Guy burns Chaitanya's study book, Todd, and Chaitanya files a false police report, accusing Guy of kidnapping a young girl. Meanwhile, only 10 competitors remain in the bee, and the pool is gradually reduced to just Guy and Chaitanya. When a contestant's mother attacks Guy verbally and is subdued by the police on live television, Bowman is forced to intervene, to his embarrassment. Having accomplished his goal, Guy deliberately misspells a word in an effort to let Chaitanya win. To prove his friendship, Chaitanya also misspells his word, and they soon begin to argue. This escalates into a physical fight, with Chaitanya first kicking Guy's genitals, much to the shock of the audience, and when Bowman attempts to intervene, Chaitanya accidentally hits him with a chair. Although the bee is briefly halted, Bowman allows it to continue, after deciding that both Guy and Chaitanya acted in an equally embarrassing manner. Their standoff of deliberately misspelling words continues until Guy intentionally misspells Chaitanya's word so that Chaitanya corrects him, thus causing Chaitanya to win the bee inadvertently. As Guy leaves, content, Chaitanya offers to give him half the winnings and names him co-winner of the bee. Guy writes a note to Bowman explaining his actions, which Bowman refuses to read until Guy reveals himself to be his son and returns home. He resolves his conflict with Chaitanya by buying an old police car from an auction with his share of the winnings and helping Chaitanya to chase down his school bullies. Did you know? The word flachinusannihilapilification means the action or habit of estimating something as worthless. The word slobbertagullion means a filthy, slobbering person, a sloven, a villain, a fiend, a louse, a worthless person, a drunk or alcoholic person. Guy Trilby's stats in the National Spelling Bee say he's 40. Jason Bateman was 45 at the release of the film. The kid extras at the first spelling bee that opens the movie weren't aware that they were being filmed. Moreover, the spelling bee that opens the film was shot first. Jason Bateman's favorite movie of his own. See you later.